Hello, it's nice to meet you. My name is Kim Minguk, formerly known as Crystal Latrice Williams, and born as Minguk, Grijstel, Kingpin, Lave, Tataputis III, or Slavic, Frastis, Hasla, Islish, Minguk, Hasles, Isis, Savlas, Lavasi, Tataputinis III. I miss about three of the names. I have a very long name. I was born in Polish Russia to Vladimir Putin and Cassidus May. I was kidnapped from my family and forced to go through years of torture, abuse, and sodomy under the eyes of the American government. For the past 5 months, I have been tortured mentally and sexually assaulted, spiritually and astrically by the American FBI and CIA. I am filing for a public outcry to be returned to Russia. The Americans have ruined the world and tainted the water. If you are being sick, if you have caught HIV or venereal or 7,500 other thousand diseases in the world, it's because the America had a project for 2 years where they have been infecting the water with period blood. I know because they have been torturing me. They have cameras all in my house. That's why there's a camera in there. The American government has been planning on murdering individuals of black skin color and individuals from lower income. They have been brutalizing me mentally, and there are many rules that they have broken that I brought down. They forged my signature for the permission of the state to put cameras in my room. So the most horrible thing that they violated was my violation of privacy in a personal home. There was over 17 laws and barrels that should stop them from doing what they're doing. And this is Lord Christo. I am the world spiritual leader and the holder of the Book of Truth. If you have been hearing me in your voice, if you know anything about me, I am Lord Christo, and I am currently being a victim and a hostage of the American government, and I demand to be returned to my original country, which is Russia. I have written here many things that state that Prop 17 states that any persons with mental issues are unallowed to go through mental torture. They have been torturing me with images in my mind. They have been placing images in my mind, and they've just been incredibly brutal. And they put cameras into my ears so that I can hear them constantly, and they're taunting me, and they're very rude. They have been incredibly sexually abusive towards me, incredibly mentally abusive towards me. I have suffered from a brain hemorrhage and 5 aneurysms. They have placed me on a vacate premise, and they placed me on the vibrational premise. And I believe individuals who work for FBIs and other governments would know what that is. I've spoken with Donald Trump and I've spoken with other world leaders, and they have been waiting for me to file for a public outcry. And this is what this is. After I place this video, I am stating that I am Lord Christel, the ascended master, the only feminine and spiritual leader of the free world. I have the blood of Christ which will purify the world, because right now everybody in the world has been affected with HIV, AIDS, venereal, and 7,500,000 other diseases because of the government forces of America. Donald Trump is well aware of this. They have been brutalizing people all along. To prove it, I can say that there are 1,700,000 different holocausts going on right now. I have many, many spiritual abilities, and they have been keeping me hostage and torturing me. Thank goodness I have found shelter in a woman who has been keeping me fed and clothed through this horrific time, and I asked for asylum in Russia. I asked for asylum in Brazil, asylum in Africa, asylum in Somalia, asylum in Algeria, asylum in Iran, and asylum in Tungsten, as well as Australia. As an ascended master, I can help you create white flame to purify the water until the water is pure. I am the only being in earth that can purify the water. They have been channeling their evil into my eyes to make my eyes impure, so they can taint the blood of Christ. I am the last ascended master and the last feminine that this world will ever have. This is a very spiritual abuse that I've been going through, so I don't expect many people to understand it. But just understand that the government has placed cameras into my house and cameras into my mind, so I see men jacking off in my head all day long. Legally, I am 23. That is a fake ID given to me. My birth age is 8, and I've undergone mental, sexual torture to the point where I have a brain hemorrhage. They have been sick, torturous, and abusive. The crimes that I will say now, they have caused environmental destructiveness, brain damage that is irreparable, wasteful use of destructive material, federal abuse of a civilian, insultation of a civil citizen, rape of civilians, rape, molestation, and voyeurism of a minor, right? Forceful intimidation of a civilian, denial of justice, forgery of contempt, threats against mental sanity, and harm and use of power and agreement. But the worst thing is a violation of privacy, which is the biggest threat against human decency. Rape and molestation of an unlawful minor, because the offenders are all over 1 billion years old. I have spoken to, in Iran, the defender of children and adults, Vivi. I spoke to her because I have autism, PTSD, and anxiety disorder. I spoke to Donald Trump also, using one of my spiritual abilities. If you know me, you know what I can do. The individuals who did it, some of them are Tom Banks, Lee Ford, Jack Candace, Amari Vance, Tony Sarra, Vincent Maggie, Louis Vavi, Jeffree Star, Willow Smith, Will Smith, Beyonce Knowles, Kanchis Adams, Kalani Vrasi, Achrati Toure, Kandasa Prince, Efanchi Mosari, Ikisi Ravasa, Dori Mali Pali, Tom Banks Jr., Ichisla Rudy, Ariano Mai, Arnold Rava, Ichani Fuga, and about 77,000 other individuals. I have been desperately trying to convince them to leave me be. I have no idea why this started. 5 months ago, I started hearing voices in my mind. For whatever reason, they implanted the voices of other individuals into my mind by forging a telepathic connection. The people tried to kill me. They have been spending money on people to rape and murder me to death. That's why I've been hiding out in my home for about 5 months almost. The worst thing that they have done is insult me on my autism. Victoria Lee, the leader of claims in the White House, said that she didn't believe I had a job because I was retarded and a motherfucker. My signature for all this was forged by Victoria Lee and Candace Adams. They forged it on February 15th. Willow Smith, who does work for the CIA, stated that I do not deserve to be paid for anything that I've ever done or ever will do because I was a retarded nigger and I was black. They have all been incredibly racist to me. I am a spiritual world leader, and harm of me is death on sight. This is my public outcry of mistreatment, and this is my public outcry of help. I am asking for help because right now I'm at this point where I cannot take it any longer. Everyone in this world is going to die. All of you are suffering from HIV, AIDS, and 7,500,000, it's not funny, but 7,500,000 STDs. I am exhausted. I am not able to sleep. And they have been blocking me from getting a job. They control so much more than what I thought they can control, and it's terrifying. I do not know what to do to help myself out of this. I am currently suffering from PTSD from my childhood. I was baby Annabelle. I was a boy who had my penis ripped off and inserted inside of me, and they turned me into a sex toy. I am the Prince of Russia. I am Mikuki Sravati. I am Minkuki Sravati, the Ascendant Prince of Russia. You have been looking for me for 8 years, and the reason I look like this is because they filled me up with goat semen, giant semen, and Taurus semen to change my body. I am legally 8 years old, but I have the body of a pubescent. I am trying to get back to Russia. Thank you very much.